Welcome to Rick Scale Model Fix and another kit review. This time it's Meng's 1/48 scale Boeing FA-18E, the Super Hornet. So as you can see, there's some rather striking box art there, and there's a lot of information contained on the box top. So we've got a list of what the kit contains. So we've got the kit as complete cockpit, wheel wells and air intakes. The kit features accurate exteriors and beautiful paint schemes. This kit includes details of the aircraft version in US military service, a US Navy pilot figure featuring realistic gestures and finely replicated suit and equipment is included, with 2 flight helmets provided for your choice. Flaps and slats can be installed in different positions, and the all-moving rudders and tails are movable. The specially designed pluggable pylons allow easy change of weapons, and the kit includes GBU-24s and GBU-16 laser guided bombs. The kit also includes precision stainless steel photo etch parts without connecting stubs, so that'll be interesting to see. So your kit number for this one is LS012. Having a look round the box sides, we've got one of the decal options there in profile, and paint colour cross reference is all to the AK Interactive range. On the other side you've got a brief synopsis of the aircraft and its service capabilities and the kit info. So we're saying it's got a length of 377mm and a width of 273 when completed, and another profile there of the kit including decal options. So that's a quick box tour. Let's lift the lid and reveal the contents inside. As with all Meng kits, the presentation is everything, and everything looks to be bagged in its own separate plastic bags. So we'll just remove these screws one at a time, just to give you an idea of what's in the kit. As you can see, there's a lot of plastic in this box. There's 2 screws there for engine nozzles and drop tanks. Other bits and pieces, single canopy frame, a whole host of weapons which we'll have a look. It'll be interesting to see how they stack up to Meng's own weapon sets. The bottom fuselage, clear parts, lenses for the weapons, decal sheet, and the instruction book. Oh, and those pins for the weapons probably. So everything's packaged in its own plastic bag. So we'll just have a look at what's included with the instruction booklet. So we've got a nice glossy instruction booklet and some cards where they're hole punched, but that's all in Chinese, I'm assuming. Oh, and there's just information cards by the looks of it, multilingual. It's got some features of the aircraft there. It's got a blurb, an introduction if you like, and some information, and that's, I'm going to assume, is just repeated in various languages. So taking a look in the instruction book, it's got that lovely box top artwork replicated there, and we've got the usual sort of modelling info, what tools are required, and we're straight into the build. And as you can see, the instruction books look quite informative. Some good layout diagrams there. It looks to be quite well detailed. Okay, so stage 1 is the cockpit, not unsurprisingly, as most aircraft start with that. And the level of detail straight off looks pretty good. Then we're into the nose landing gear and forward fuselage, so straight away we can see it's following this traditional Hornet breakdown of a separate nose piece and main fuselage body. Detail looks really nice there in the nose gear bay. And we're dealing with the upper fuselage surface, which is tooled in one piece. It's nice to see that we've got the early or later style ECS pipes, and you've got to make a decision quite early on as to whether you want the wings in the folded or extended position. Onto some intakes, and it's looking as though the main gear assembly as well, so they sit on top of it, the intake sitting on top of the main gear bay there. Detail looks nice, intakes coming in with the splitter plates and the side intake pieces coming in, so much like the Hasegawa kit. So quite early on in the build we're joining the fuselage with the nose section, and it's always going to be a problem area with any Hornet kit, so it'll be interesting to see how Meng tackle that. Comb in, hood heads up display looks to be quite well detailed and replicated. Nose cone, cannon bay, cockpit and rear decking, so there's clearly design there possibly for a two-seater. Moving on to section 9, deals with the flaps in the retracted position. Looks to be well detailed there. And then stage 10 in the extended position. Wings in the unfolded position, being the wingtips added to that stub that we inserted earlier on. So it'll be interesting to see how all that lines up, and hopefully it'll prove to be an easy fit. Repeated on the other side. Flaps retracted and extended, so just follow the options through to make sure you're not getting confused with what you're doing. So wings folded, and again step by step, so follow, making sure that you remove the corresponding pins and lugs as indicated in the instruction booklet. Vertical tails and rudder and exhausts going together. Again, looks detailed. I've got some use of photo etched in there. Everything coming together to complete the airframe in step 14 before moving on to the undercarriage. And again, it's nice to see that there's some decal placards and data plates provided. It just adds that touch of realism. And the unit looks quite complicated, captures the detail quite well with the launch bars and everything. And that looks as though it can be attached in the lowered or raised position. That's then transferred over onto the model itself before the nose gear doors are added. Main gear following suit, so looks quite well detailed. Again, data placards and stencil data applied. Gear bay doors going on, and then it's onto those pylons where we're trapping those metal pins in between, and there's little poly washers in the weapons so that they can be slid on or off. GBU's 24s and 16s provided, and it's saying to make 2 of each. So it's nice to see that they've come away from their own weapons set, which were not that good, to be honest. AIM 9Xs, AIM 9Ms, both ×2, launch rails and different pylon attachments detailed in step 21. Targeting pods, nice to see that those are included. And then it's down to the ejector seats. They're quite well detailed, and again, data placards and stencil data provided on decals there for those seats. There's that pilot figure, it's multi-part, so that should be interesting if you want your model in a in-flight pose or crewed up. Cockpit, I'm assuming, can be opened or closed, it doesn't actually say. Boarding ladder, which is a nice touch, or can be extended or stowed. And then we get to the end of the booklet, which has got all the parts map, decal sheet, etc. It's quite comprehensive there, there's quite a lot to get through. Looks like we've got a set of masks included, which is a very nice touch, Meng, well done. And then we're on to the aircraft profiles and painting guides. So we've got one there from VFA 31, Felix the Cat. Quite an attractive scheme. More operational one, VFA 87. More of a line bird there. So just, oh, and then we've got the one that can't be missed, which is, it just says Pilot Unknown, United States Navy Strike Fighter Tactics Instructor Program 2019, which I believe features in the new Top Gun 2 movie. Got weapons, breakdown, painting guide. Nice to see that there's a lot of stencil data provided in the kit for those, just to add a bit more realism to the parts. Often manufacturers think of the weapons as an afterthought. And then we've got some colour call outs to Meng, AK and Acrysian. Not heard of those before. And that concludes the look through the instruction book. So as you can see, it's quite a detailed build. It's not going to be a quick project. It's certainly going to result in a very detailed model, and probably is going to take the title of best in scale. I mean, Hasegawa is probably the next best option, and that was released in 2005, so quite a considerable time span's passed since then. Things are bound to have improved over the years with tooling, as we know. And then you've got other offerings such as the Artillery kit and the Revel kit, which are not without the problems. So let's have a look at the plastic and see what it looks like. So just opening the bag, first thing that I've noticed is the parts are dripping with a greasy substance, probably mould release. So again, this is an early brand new release, so it is quite noticeable there. The first thing that is really noticeable is the level of detail included on this fuselage bottom. So hopefully the camera can pick that out in the light. It is simply stunning. So then we've also got, I'm not going to get those out of the bag, but just in there we've got the poly washers for the weapons. So it's really well moulded. It's feels like quite a hard plastic. It's really caught. Those panel lines and vent details are absolutely extraordinary. They're going to look absolutely sublime under a wash. That's really nice. So we'll have a look at the others. So we've got a multitude of weapons. I'm not going to open all these, but they look quite well detailed. Fins look to be in scale and not overly thick, and look to be a lot better than what Meng released in some weapon sets earlier on. I purchased those quite cheaply on sale and nobody was buying them, and I wasn't overly impressed, but used the targeting pods out of them in a previous build. Everything's stapled up, so they look really nice, and they should look good if you want to portray a loaded up airframe. We've got the lenses for those kits, for the weapons, sorry, and then we've got the clear parts. Now these are separately bagged. I'm not going to open those because I want to protect them until I get round to building the kit, but doesn't look to be any issues with those at all. So we've got let's have a look at the cockpit tub. So that's the cockpit tub detail. That looks quite nice. It's going to be interesting to see how the detail in there is so fine, that how that looks under paint. It's going to be quite a challenge to do it justice. I'm sure some of the aftermarket people will come out with those 3D decals that look so fantastic. So we've got wing lower surfaces by the looks of it, or upper surfaces, and the outboard panels. Again, I'm not going to go through and open all these bags. There's a lot of sprues in this kit. We'll be here for an hour if we went into forensic detail, which is out of the scope of this video. It's just a quick look what's in the box. But we've got quite some nice riveting detail and stuff there. We'll open this one. So this is a twin sprue. So we've got the drop tanks, which are quite smooth, so I would imagine they're composite. Some lovely wing pylon detail. The wheels are quite nice. Picking it up there. One piece tailplanes, ejector seats with some nice sidewall detail, And there's that pilot figure that they proclaim is realistically moulded. Some engine face detail. This sprue, we've got the vertical tail surfaces, flaps and slats by the looks of it. Some other bits and pieces, and they look to be well detailed. Two halves, no massive ejector pin marks. It's interesting to actually see there that the ejector pins have already been sanded smooth in the kit, so that they don't stand proud. I don't know if you can see the discoloration on the plastic on the camera, but that's interesting to note. The tooling is absolutely precise. There's not a sign of any flash on anything, and the rivet detail is quite restrained. So this sprue C has got the main gear bays and the nose gear bay sidewall detail and intakes, and the landing gear legs, which are absolutely fantastically detailed. So again, they should look good once painted and a wash applied. The rear surface is not showing any signs of any ejector pin marks in difficult places to remove, so not compromising the detail there anyway. So this sprue has got the various nose sides and intake sides of the airframe and the radome. Again, moulding is fantastic. Just hope it goes together as well as it looks. It's going to be resulting in an absolute fantastic replica of the Super Hornet. Instrument panel is well rendered. All in all, top marks to Meng for this. It's looking as though it's going to be a delight to build. Separately bagged is the upper fuselage section, and again it's very greasy. It's just a joy to look at. Very well designed, just took the detail quite well. Clearly, as with most Hornet kits, there's the option there possibly of a two-seater later on, and you can actually see my fingerprints in that grease on the surface of the kit. No warpage or anything there. Looking at some of the smaller parts, there's a small snap bag of metal pins for that slide on, slide off weapons attachment. We've got the stencil data for the weapons and that photo etch with no attachment stubs, so that's nice to see. And a lovely decal sheet. That's printed by Cartograph, so again quality assured, and it's lovely to see all that stencil data on there. I'm not going to open these, just to keep everything in place. And it's interesting as well, we've got full cockpit decal detail if you're not too good with the old hairy stick and you want to take the shortcut there. And we have got, I believe, in there some canopy masks which are hiding. Yep, wheel canopy masks, wheel masks, etc. for the kit, which is a nice inclusion. So there we have Meng's brand new Boeing FA-18 Super Hornet, and what a kit it looks to be. It's well detailed, perfectly engineered. Hopefully the fit will be as good as what it looks in the box, and it's certainly going to take the title for best in scale, I'm sure. I wouldn't recommend it for the complete novice, just to the length and complexity of the build, but with careful painting there shouldn't be anything needed to add extra detail to the kit. So until next time, please look after yourselves, take care and stay well.